Hey everyone, the Walking Virus here again. You know, boss battles are an integral part of most games, creating memorable moments through challenging puzzles or epic fights to the death. Most of the time anyway. Sometimes there's boss fights so absolutely ludicrous that they stick in our memory more than any normal boss could, and today we're going to cover our favorites. So here are the top 5 most ridiculous bosses in gaming. Number 5, Vlad, totally a vampire. Magicka was already a fairly ridiculous game with rather eccentric characters, but one character stood out above the rest, Vlad. Aside from sending us out on our quest to save the world, Vlad was hiding one significant portion of his life from us players, that he was, in fact, a vampire! This shocking revelation leads to having to fight him on multiple occasions with some rather silly dialogue leading into each of the fights, making it a standout silly moment in an already massively silly game. Number 4, Ultros, let me get my bib. Final Fantasy VI was a relatively dark game covering the topics of war, slavery, and the loss that goes along with them. But that doesn't mean Square didn't know how to lighten the mood every so often. During our heroes' adventures, they run into a strange creature named Ultros, who is not only a strange talking octopus creature, but also apparently a failed comedian who doesn't know when to stop trying to take down people who are obviously significantly stronger than he is. But, for all his failings, there's still a bit of charm in him and made him one of the more memorable, if not ridiculous, bosses in the game. Number 3, Killer Rabbit. Yes, really. Dragon's Crown was an interesting game, despite its terrible art choices, and provided a lot of great beat-em-up action. It also had this little gem of a fight lurking in its later stages. The game paid homage to the Holy Grail with a number of Easter eggs, but this boss took the cake and bit our jugular in half with it. Not only is the boss capable of stun-locking you to deal a good amount of damage, but it also leaps a good distance across the screen, which can lead to instantaneous death with nasty, sharp, pointy teeth. So thank you, Atlas. Thank you for this chance to have a fight with the legendary beast of Kair Banor and laugh at how ridiculous this was. Number 2, the Great Mighty Pooh. Why? Conker's Bad Fur Day was most known for trying to push the letter on the weird things it could get away with. But this boss took it one step further. Not only is the thing a giant bowel movement having to be destroyed by flushing it down the world's largest toilet, but it sings at you the entire time in an operatic tone. Why does it do this? Your guess is as good as mine, but one thing's for sure, it left a lasting impression with us, so good job, dev team! Number 1, Bob the Killer Goldfish. That's it. Earthworm Jim was essentially what you would get if you stuck someone on acid in a room full of random animals, so it had no shortage of interesting characters to be found. But the one they played up more than anyone else was Bob the Killer Goldfish. After tons and tons of adventures trying to get to him and building up the climactic battle between them, the fight begins, and immediately ends when Jim smacks his fishbowl off a stand. But really, when you think about it, this is the best way to conclude an epic fight with a goldfish, particularly in a game as completely insane as Earthworm Jim. But what do you all think? Think there was a boss that should have made our list? Feel free to let us know down in the comments below, and if you want more awesome content delivered to your face, feel free to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Stay awesome, everyone, and as always, keep gaming.